in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to TechGig webinar series, our endeavor to empower techies. We believe that sharing of knowledge is the key to enhance our skills and grow us as professionals. With this principle in mind, we've initiated a series of webinars conducted by industry experts to give you all a crisp insight of various domains. The topic of today's session is Proactive Customer Care, how PayPal is transforming customer care. Our guest speaker today is Manoj Jha, Senior MTS Architect, PayPal. Manoj is a Senior MTS Architect in the Global Operations Architecture Group at PayPal India and is primarily responsible for leading long-term architecture and strategy for messaging and caching platforms and applications, evolving the front office tools used by customer support agents worldwide toward an end state and extending architect support as necessary to various Scrum teams. He has strong expertise in enterprise architecture, future state architecture, and strategy for IT applications, SOA and BPM to achieve process re-engineering optimizations and aligning IT strategies to business objectives. So without further delay, I introduce you all to our guest speaker. Over to you, Manoj.
Okay, thank you, Deepika. Welcome, everyone. My pleasure to be here and speaking on a topic that is important to PayPal and I believe to most organizations in the industry today. Thank you, TechGig, for this opportunity. I hope this talk will bring some fresh perspectives for you to consider as you think through how to engage your customers and use technologies to improve their cross-channel experiences. I'm going to jump right into the presentation now. Can everyone see my screen? Deepika, can you confirm if everyone can see my screen just fine?
Yes, Manoj, everybody is in listen-only mode. Thank you.
Okay. Just to break the mic, a very quick summary about myself. As Deepika alluded to, I'm a Senior MTS Architect in Global Operations Architecture Group at PayPal India. And specifically, I'm responsible for leading the architecture and strategy for our messaging, caching platforms and applications. I'm also responsible for the front office tools used by our customer support agents worldwide and evolving them towards their end state architecture. My background is primarily in enterprise architecture, some SOA and BPM, and aligning IT strategies to business objectives. With that in mind, let's jump into the presentation. So we are going to talk about proactive customer care and how PayPal has been transforming customer care in its organization and thereby improving upon the customer experiences today. So the agenda today we'll be discussing would be along these lines. We'll start talking about how customer behaviors have evolved over the years. You'll see very soon how. And how have those behaviors placed demands on customer service business today. As a result, customer service experience has struggled to keep pace due to these evolving needs of customers and as a result of their customer behaviors. The organizations are now putting increased focus on this experience to create a seamless and a very high quality experience for the customers. To the extent that now customer service experience is a core competency for most organizations. At PayPal, we'll talk about how our customer service evolution has gone from reactive to proactive, and how we are striving to create a 7-star what we call a 7-star movie experience. The implication of that is essentially we are creating new engagement patterns for our customers. We are creating that cross-channel proactive orchestration where the customer gets a seamless experience across most of our channels, and how we are weaving together new and existing infrastructure and capabilities to bring it all together. And the net outcome of all this endeavor is to create a proactive customer care experiences with the goal of becoming a trusted partner to our customers. So hopefully that's the storyline we will be talking about today, and you'll get a sense of how we have ventured into that journey and where we are today. So let's talk about some customer, how the customer behavior has evolved and therefore placed demands on most organizations. So the customer is increasingly distracted today. What do we mean by that? We mean we live in an information-rich, message-laden, multi-channel world. As a result of which, the ability to attract attention of the customer is at a premium. So it's very, very difficult to maintain that attention we are seeking from our customers to engage them. The customers have increased expectations today, and the implication is that we live in a very competitive marketplace where switching products and suppliers has never been easier. Today, the customers have newer sources of trust. Essentially, what that means is customer has a choice with new models of business, and some examples of that is, using Expedia.com instead of live travel agents, going to WebMD.com for healthcare tips, and so on. The customers have a need to conduct business anytime, anywhere. And the implication is that we live in a connected world where the customer is not bound by the hours of operation. He can essentially conduct business anywhere, anytime, and any channel of choice. So you can see, at each one of these evolved behavior and needs of the customer are placing demands on our business. They can establish communities. Essentially, with all online reviews and social channels, they have access to opinions from millions of like-minded individuals. So, they can buy a product only when they have read hundreds and thousands of reviews, and finally, they have the power to say no. What do we mean by that? Well, we live in a world where we can fast forward commercials, where we have do not call registries, opt-out lists, and such. And therefore, the customer has the power to say no to thousands of marketing messages and opportunities. So hopefully this has shown you how the increasing demand from the customer is making most organizations place emphasis on improving the experience. And our customer service experience that I talked about is struggling to keep pace with this new demand that we talked about in a moment back. So what do we mean by customer service has been struggling to keep pace? Well, we are talking about a non-integrated experience across contact channels. Essentially, while we can deliver an excellent experience on a given channel, but if we do not carry over that context from one channel to the next, we sort of leave a unsatisfied taste in the minds of the customer, right? You do not get a coherent experience if you do not carry forward that contextual awareness from one channel to next. The organizations are increasingly unable to respond effectively to evolution in customer needs and behaviors. Why is that? Well, most big organizations specifically, they have legacy technologies and some siloed environments, and therefore not agile enough to respond to these demands being placed by the customers. Then the customers go through long verification procedures when interacting with customer support channels, and that leads to frustration with the customers. There is propensity to churn as a result of that. And so to sum it all, it leaves a less than stellar impression on customer service that the organization does not know me. So those are some of the ways how the customer service experience has sort of struggled because of these new needs and new behaviors from the customers. So now, how are the organizations responding to these needs from an agile and empowered customer today? So as a result of discovering these needs from the customer and the way they want to transact with businesses, how are most organizations responding to these new behaviors? They have created new experiences for the customers. How? Well, they try to meet the needs of the customer by increasing the relevance of products, offers, service, and communication. So you talk about personalized offers, personalized messages, personalized service, communications, and so on. We talk about gaining insight from the data that we leverage from a variety of channels and try to gain insights about the customer behavior and their patterns on how they transact with our business. So we need to understand why do customers behave the way they do, and why do the things work the way they do. So we need to employ things like data science and others to gain that insight. We are talking about opening up new channels on customer communities. We talked about customers participating in new communities, and we need to open up channels along those community lines. We need to open up those channels into our business. We need to create trust with the customer by perhaps offering them free advice and such. And finally, we need to engage our customers by offering very persuasive messaging along our various communication channels. So those are some of the ways we are responding to the needs of an agile and empowered customer. And as a result, engaging customers with a world-class experience across all these channels is now a must-have competency for most businesses to be successful. So, so you see how the customer behaviors have changed, how the experience has sort of struggled to keep pace, and now how businesses are trying to respond to these new age behaviors and needs. So let's talk about how PayPal has tried to address this over the years. even at PayPal, our customer service journey has gone from reactive to proactive. We have talked about in this slide the early years where our focus was primarily on volume, on product usage volume. As is typical of a growth company, the early years were placing emphasis on product usage volume. Over the years, we started to implement the voice of the customer program within our organization, and we not only wanted to expand upon the product usage volume, but more emphasis was being placed on the product usage experience, the product quality, and such. How can we deliver excellent product to the customers while growing our product usage volume? So, the intervening years, as we learned more from the voice of the customer, soliciting customer feedback and such, was that not only we have to increase the product usage volume across our various customer segments, we need to also place emphasis on the experience part of it, the quality part of it. And more recently now, what we want to do is we want to improve the customer engagement across our channels to give them that seamless experience as well. On top of delivering an excellent product, a great experience on usage of that product, we want to also provide him a seamless experience, a contextually aware channel where he can transact portions of his business on one channel and carry over the rest of the business process on other channel, and we should be aware of that. So we need to engage the customer more and provide him with that seamless experience. And above it all, we are cognizant of the fact that the customer today can transact business anytime, anyway, anywhere, as is depicted on the slide there, and across the variety of channels that is depicted on the right-hand side there. So this particular slide has just given a glimpse on how our customer service has gone from reactive to proactive. So when we say proactive, I just provided a slight glimpse into how we are trying to improve upon customer engagement across channels, but what does that actually mean? So let's now talk about a little bit about the proactive customer care and what it means to us. The rest of the presentation will sort of elaborate on that. So 7-star experience. What do we mean by that? By 7-star experience, we are talking about channels that are sort of woven together like the frames in a 7-star movie. So let's talk about what is a 7-star experience and what is why we are talking about a 7-star movie here. So essentially, when we talk about channels, while we can deliver an excellent experience on an individual channel, but if we cannot propagate that context from one channel to the next, the customer is left with an unsatisfied feeling that I alluded to you earlier, and it doesn't give him an impression that you know me. I do not get that seamless experience from him. And that is akin to, or I want to draw an analogy to a movie where if you see an individual frames in a movie, that might be of excellent quality. You may have excellent video, the quality of that video may be great, but if you haven't carried over the context of the story from one frame to the next, you haven't created a coherent storyline for the customer. the movie hasn't delivered on its promise of being an excellent story, telling you a excellent storyline. So the net result, what we are trying to achieve, and the goal of this program or initiative is a proactive customer care where all customers across all of these channels get a seamless experience, and they are all contextually aware where each channel can propagate the context to the other channel no matter where the customer wants to transact his business. So the goal, as I said, from all customers is what is depicted on the slide there, that the business really understands me and is really easy to work with. So that's what our goal is. So what makes up this 7-star experience? So one of the things, let's talk about what makes up this 7-star experience. So one of the things that make up this experience is new engagement pattern. So on the right-hand side, you are seeing the current state, and in red, specifically in red, because the customer has identified an issue, has met with a problem with one of our products, and doesn't know how to go forward, and therefore needs to contact the customer support agent and explain him the problem, go through a long verification procedure, and then eventually explain the problem and hopes that he gets a service which effectively resolves his issue. In this manner, what has happened is this whole pattern is very reactive in nature. The issue was detected by the customer, the issue was taken to the contact channel, in this case IVR and customer support channel by the customer. He had to explain the problem to the customer, to the customer support agent, and hopes that he gets an effective resolution to his problem. So that is more reactionary in nature. On the left-hand side is the new engagement pattern, and you see it in yellow primarily because we are saying that the issue hasn't occurred yet. The issue was identified before it occurred. So that's the key to driving that new engagement pattern. We want to determine that something's going wrong somewhere, or going to fail somewhere, even before the issue occurs. And so the engagement pattern there is anticipate and fix the problems before they occur. So what constitutes doing or implementing that engagement pattern? We are talking about some self-healing capabilities where we not only recognize the problem before they occurred, but we sort of provide some proactive notification to the customer, perhaps like a self-help instruction or some knowledge articles on how to fix it, even before the customer has had a chance to detect that he had that problem. So self-healing deals with the detection, notifies the self-healing capability that, hey, you need to do something about this problem, and the self-healing component then sort of takes an appropriate action depending upon how it wants to engage the customer. Perhaps by directing the customer to a personalized self-help article, where we enable customers to execute on solution paths before they complain. And outbound engagement means we are notifying the customer in advance that something is happening or has happened that you need to take an action on and fix that problem in a certain way. So, for instance, to give you an example, if a customer is logging to a website or to our PayPal website, and perhaps the login failed once, the login failed twice, login is going to fail third time. We know that because of the multiple failures to log in, that account is going to be locked or frozen or what have you, that we can send in advance some notification to the customer with some self-help password reset articles that he can follow along so that he can resolve the problem before the problem actually occurs, and he doesn't have to suffer through the account locking issue. He doesn't need to call a customer support line. So that might be an example where we should detect an issue before they occur. So that's the new engagement pattern we are talking about. So moving on, how do we create a cross-channel cross-channel experience that I alluded to earlier, the cross-channel proactive coordination here. We are creating a consistent and proactive customer experience as a result of this cross-channel experience. So some of the things in here are, some of the important components are strategies. We will need to identify strategies that need to be executed against customer activity events. And accordingly, as a result of executing those strategies against customer activities, we will produce individualized best next action recommendations to the customer. And then these best next action lists are then fulfilled upon by the contact channels, whether mobile, IVR, social, or SMS. So when we talk about strategies here, what do we mean by strategies? So some examples of strategies might include, like I said, account logging failure, or perhaps payment failures, where we monitor their activity against payment attempts and then proactively execute our payment failed strategy to generate the best next action for the recommendation for the customer. And that might be perhaps to send in a link explaining that he should try some other financial instrument instead of the current instrument because, something is wrong with that instrument. His credit card has expired, or, he's inputting wrong number in there or something of that nature. So we perhaps send him a self-link, help link article explaining how he can use some other financial instrument to make his payment attempt successful. So similarly, there could be other strategies that are monitoring account login, account activations, product activations, his site website activities, and so on. So in the cross-channel proactive customer care, the middle section that you're seeing, that's the key engine that will deliver upon the capabilities needed for this program to be successful. So some of our core capabilities include event detection. So these are events of customer activities, transaction activities, and so on. There are notification triggers where we generate notification based on some business rule, based on some customer profile updates and such. And then there is that channel coordination. We need to be contextually aware. We need to be having a contextually aware channel, right? So we expose these best next actions as a result of executing these business rules. We expose these best next actions for these channels to fulfill upon what actions they will. So perhaps we can say that, hey, this customer is unsatisfied at this moment, perhaps extend him an offer of some those could be the best next action recommendations. And then continual improvement section, those set of capabilities include some effectiveness assessment of our engine. So we need to be constantly measuring our business rules that we have, or our strategies here, to see how effective they are, where customers are fulfilling upon them. We need to be measuring our click-through rates and such. So do we need to tweak our business rules? Those kinds of things are part of continual improvement there. And underneath it all is the durable case management. So what do we mean by durable case management? This is a capability that will track and persist all contacts with the customer. The DNA list, when I say DNA, the best next action, this is the list that we generate as a result of executing our strategy. What DNA list did we offer to the customer? Were they fulfilled or not by the customer? Those sort of things will be tracked and monitored through the durable case management platform. And of course, on the right, you see the contact channels. They are primarily there just to fulfill upon those best next action recommendations that were generated out of this engine. And also, you see a two-way engagement there between the engine, the middle component that you see there, and all the contact channels on the right. You see a two-way arrow there. The reason for that is, while on one hand the engine generates the best next action list to fulfill upon, the contact channels then send back feedback to the engine on various metrics, whether the customer fulfills that recommendation or not. And that two-way communication then is fed into that continual improvement component that can run its analytics to assess its effectiveness and such. And then also provide some dashboarding capabilities to show how we are doing to our internal stakeholders. So that shows the capabilities that we will need to achieve that proactive customer engagement goal there. So architecturally, let's see what components we need to build out as, to achieve these goals. So, when we say event detection, notification triggers, case management, how will it come to life? How will it be, will we achieve it in practice? That is what we want to see. So what is architecture behind all of this? So this slide here, the proactive customer care architecture component represents just that. What do we need to bring that whole capability to life? So we are talking about one of the key requirements from the architectural perspective is access to real-time event stream feeds for customer activities. So that's on your left that you're seeing events and customer activities like his transactions, the kind. So, did he initiate a payment? Then he changed his profile. Whatever he did, those need to those events and feeds are streamed in real time to this central ECC engine, we are calling it, which is more like a proactive customer care engine. So those events and feeds are fed in a real-time streaming manner to the engine, and the engine has a foundational component which is a 360-degree view of the customer. That is also a core thing that is needed so that we can understand our customer much better. So this 360-degree view of the customer is something that is a big challenge that most organizations are striving to overcome, and it involves everything, knowing everything about the customer across the organization, including things like his list of accounts, his account balances, demographics, his cases, disputes he has filed, complaints he has had made, contacts he has made in the past, and so on and so forth. So 360-degree view of the customer enables us to know him better and provide him with much more personalized service that I was talking about earlier. So other components that are needed here are a business rule engine, of course, where we can configure our strategies. So the business rule engine is where our business rules strategies lie, and these events are streamed into this business rule engine, which will execute different strategies on these events, and the outcome of all of that being the best next action recommendation. Some of the other things that we want to have in the engine are predictive models, machine learning, where we want to run some statistical model on seeing how effective are our strategies in generating the outcome that we are striving for, and also detect patterns in these events and perhaps refine or configure our thresholds and priorities of the best next actions accordingly. So predictive models are something that should detect these patterns and make things a little bit more adaptable as we go along. We have outbound engagement coordination. So what are we talking about? These are a set of components that lead us to engage customers on a variety of outbound channels, whether through an outbound dialing or through SMS or whatever it is we want to notify our customers on. And then we have cross-channel business logic. This is needed for the contextually aware channels that we are talking about. The customer did some sort of activity on one channel and then proceeds to transact business on some other channel. We want to carry forward that context to the other channel, and so those cross-channel specific logic is also housed in here. That's a component that we need to build out. On the top, you also see channel-specific services. Those are meant for providing channel-specific services, as in this best next action. It's a list that is generated as a result of executing our strategy, but not all action recommendations might be relevant for a given channel. So those channel-specific services are tuned to filter out recommendations that are relevant to that specific channel. And underneath it all, we have some infrastructure component that is required. We have an in-memory data cache. That is, we are talking about a high-performance environment where real-time events are coming in a streaming manner. We need to have a data cache so that we can pull in, enrich our events with account details, transaction details, and such. So, those things are provided through the data cache. We have an asynchronous event bus that is a conduit for all our incoming event streams to our applications within our global ops asynchronous event bus is mostly for our messaging platform and is what serves as our bus for all these event consumptions and such. Analytics, as I told you about, we want to measure the effectiveness of the PCC engine, and we want to provide real-time dashboards to show how effective are our engine strategies and how effective are they, and do we need to configure our rules as a result of some low scores on the effectiveness on some strategies, versus leave it as is, or do we make enhancements to some strategies? Those are all driven as a result of these real-time dashboards that is constantly measuring the effectiveness score of the engine. The rule configurator specifically is something that is exposed to our business analysts who are monitoring these dashboards for the effectiveness, and provides for a platform where the business analyst can configure rules, tweak them as necessary. They have a simulation environment where they can test it out and then migrate those to online and make it effective. So those and on top, of course, our contact channels where customer engagement happens, and also where the best next action generated out of the engine are exposed to, and also those are also the place where customer fulfills upon those recommendations. So that should be pretty self-evident right there. So we just talked about some of the architecture components that should make up this whole proactive customer care engine that gives that engagement we are looking for, where we detect issues and problems before they occur, and we engage the customer through our channels. We have predictive models that adapt our engine to future change in behavior and such, and then we have rule configurator and dashboards to measure effectiveness and allow for business analysts to enhance or tweak rules as necessary. So in a nutshell, let's summarize what proactive customer goals are. And here are some of the goals for our customer care initiative. So we want to become our customers' trusted partner. And how do we achieve that? We want to achieve that by improving our engagement with them. We want to increase the product adoption and the product experience. We want to improve upon the issue avoidance, so we want to make sure that we provide self-healing capabilities so that we do not land the customers into issues, so they do not have to go through contacting customer care channels, because we want to fix it before they occur. And as a result of all of this, we are hoping to have increased customer retention. And so what you're seeing here is some of the things that we talked about earlier. A 360-degree view of the customer is necessary to understand our customer behavior better, understand him better, and allow us to engage him better. Through increased product adoption and improved issue avoidance, what we are trying to do there is we are trying to communicate to him through our notification capabilities. We are trying to communicate to him through trusted and familiar channels, which could be outbound dialing or SMS or whatever, where we want to make sure that the messaging that we deliver to the customer are very personalized to that customer. We do not send something that we have already contacted him about and so on and so forth. We want to preemptively resolve these problems before these issues become problems, and we want to deepen our customer relationships, like I said, through offering relevant products and services. And we want to deliver upon our customer service agents, our customer service teammates, as we call them, a great quality product who and also provide great tools for them, such that we are talking about a consistent and knowledgeable customer agent who is delighting our customers day in and day out by providing them a channel where the tools are contextually channel aware. They provide them a great tool set that can leverage the best next action recommendations and try to greet customers when they contact them by knowing the issues in advance, so they can delight the customer whenever they need to reach out to them. So that is how we are hoping that we will achieve our goal of proactive customer care. And finally, in the end, I want to summarize this all. So we will achieve that 7-star movie experience or the 7-star customer service experience by following the principles that or the goals that I alluded to earlier, and using those components that we are going to build out. But we will achieve our customer experience by measuring these KPIs, things like improved customer satisfaction scores, trying to have first call resolution, improve upon our AHT, which is average handling time, and so on. So we will have a variety of metrics to measure upon whether we fulfilled upon that 7-star experience or not. And in the end, we want to come up with innovations in how we approach solving these set of problems here. We will have built out a proactive engagement of our customers. We will have woven together a new and existing set of infrastructure and capabilities in an innovative way to deliver upon this goal. And in doing all of this, we will be bringing customer service to the forefront of PayPal's customer experience. I think that is all I had to present on the proactive customer care initiative that PayPal has ventured on. I think I am done with the presentation.
Thank you, Manoj.
Yeah, go ahead, Deepika. Are there questions?
Sure. Thank you, Manoj. Thanks for the insightful presentation. Let's quickly take up the questions now. I would request you to read out the questions and their answers so that all our users may listen to the commendable insights.
Okay. So I see there is a question from Dev Datta, Rigonfer. The question from him is, are you using an off-the-shelf product for achieving proactive customer care, or do you have a customized solution built? That's an excellent question there. Like I indicated earlier, we are trying to leverage our existing infrastructure and capabilities. And in some places, yes, we are building some new capabilities. We are building a new business rule engine. We are building a new rule configurator component. We are building a new predictive model platform. So there is a variety of new capabilities that we are building, but then we are also leveraging our existing infrastructure. So we do have an existing infrastructure for customer behavior activities that we can monitor on, and so we will leverage those existing platforms. So that's a combination of existing infrastructure and in some places it will be new. So it will be mostly our proprietary technologies, proprietary homegrown technology stack that we will have built this on, and I don't think at this time we are venturing to buy something from a vendor. Okay. Then there is a question from Mandar Shastri, who is asking, are there such products available in the market that provide features for PCC? So that's also an excellent question. We are talking about a variety of capabilities that make up proactive customer care. It's not a one solution that fits all. It's a combination of variety of capabilities like I talked to you about. We're talking about a 360-degree view of a customer. We're talking about eventing platform, asynchronous message bus. We're talking about an in-memory data cache. We're talking about predictive models. We are talking about analytics engine, so on and so forth. So it's a combination of variety of capabilities that make up what we call a proactive customer care engine. So I'm sure there are products in the market that cater to one or more of these capabilities, but what we have decided to do again is take our existing infrastructure and see where these capabilities exist, and which is because these are mature platforms we have, so we want to take these and use them in new ways to deliver what are the goals that we are seeking with this initiative. So hopefully that answers your question, Mandar. There's another question around which tool you are using for usage statistics. So again, we have a platform. We have the Pega platform that we are building this on, but there is the usage statistics is a analytics engine that is we haven't completely decided on which specific tool we'll be using. It's in the process of we are in the process of measuring the pros and cons of our in-house tools. We have a variety of tools on that front that we are at this point doing a pros and cons analysis so that we can make a informed architecture decision on which tool will do that job for us. But at this point, I can't venture to say that this is the exact tool that we will be using because it's in process for us. Let's see. So one of the last question I see is many of the other companies are also implementing TCC, and why do you think you're doing it differently? So that's a very good question. Yes, most folks are trying to implement this, but what is different about us? So some of the core components that we talked about, things like 360-degree view of customer. Well, I mean, what it means to us and what it means to some other companies might be slightly different. How can we leverage data insights from real-time streaming from a variety of sources? Do we tap enough data sources to know about the customer better? That is very key differentiating factor for us. Can other organizations do the same? Well, they can. It all depends upon how well we know our customers based on the insights we gain from a variety of data sources that we stream data from. How our strategies are executing. Are we writing good strategy rules that are we can deliver upon very impactful in a constructive way offers and notifications and such, those best next action lists that I was talking about, which are much more effective. Those we feel that our capabilities will leverage these existing infrastructures and other capabilities to deliver upon a very effective best next action list that will be more personalized for the customer and more contextually aware on the channel of his choice where he's trying to conduct his business. I think that is all the questions I see for now. Deepika, I think...
Thank you, Manoj. Yeah, thank you so much.
Those are all the questions I have received so far.
Yeah. Thank you, Manoj. I'm really thankful to our guest speaker, Manoj, for conducting this webinar. It was indeed a great session. I would also like to thank all our participants for their support in making this webinar a success. The recording of the webinar will be available on techgig.com very soon. Thank you all.
And I wanted to thank everyone to take time off from their busy schedule at this time of the day as well, and hope they enjoyed this presentation as much as I did delivering the content for it. So thank you, everyone.